making a video. I don't know. It's just today's video, I think. Not going to be a subject of anything, I don't think. So, a ramble of junk, maybe. So, first thing I've noticed is, the draft science video, the most recent one. I mean, 1 thumbs up and 9 thumbs down for merely saying induction, applying to gravity. But no comments. I mean, no explanation of this negative impulse in people. Just a trashing. No balls behind it. Ow! People don't lose anything. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was sort of thinking that, maybe I'd do one of those, whatever, viral videos or whatever, not viral, whatever, the ones where you pass it on, or pass the idea on, and try to get everybody to do a rag video on YouTube, just to get Google Tube, to have some better features, put videos back in subject categories, for example, and put channel information with people's screen name, like how many videos they've made, when their name shows up, or some class of videos, more than 2, or 0, and I mean, there should be ways we should know who dislikes videos. I mean, that just seems to me an obvious one, that nobody should be able to like or dislike stuff without being accountable for it. That's just too wrong a feature. And I guess especially, they shouldn't even count, like I said, channels that don't do anything else but rate videos. I mean, yeah, it shouldn't even count. But anyway, what else did I want to do? Yeah, but I just hate this whole idea of everybody doing secret shit. Yeah, it's just the hypocrisy and duplicity of it is it just invites lying. And why would you invite lying? Encourage it. Seems really dumb. So in other news, I was reading the other physics-related news actually. Still the $1,000 prize that exists for somebody with some sort of credentials who wants to do something like a rational critique. But I'm thinking I have to get this somewhere. Anyway, so I was reading the Lesage page, and it was kind of funny. Just because all kinds of assholes chimed in, like Immanuel Kant. And he doesn't like it because he was already glued to this whole attractive idea. That gravity, it's all the attractive forces. And he just didn't like this idea of push. It's just so, I mean, it fits so well with the whole philosophical argument. And there's a couple of the others, and they're, philosopher types. And they're all the phantasmagorical types who really hated this. But there was a lot of the math types and different ones who did like it, and then, they just couldn't make it work. It always had some hang, that was just too big a problem, and they couldn't get past it. And it's like most of the hangs, with quantum theory, the drag, which was a big one in the heat, are gone. And so all you're left with is these little things, these little irritants, like the speed of light issue. I'm still working with that one a bit, which makes it complicated. But, the speed of this force, in terms of transmission. But I mean, but it was just kind of funny how it's, even back then, this guy came up with this shit in 1690. And nobody paid any attention, and another guy, Lesage, I mean the original guy, DuPont or something, and then Lesage grabs it And yeah, he was kind of just I'm just going to repeat what somebody else already told me. I mean, it wasn't really honest at all. I mean, he just stole this stuff, basically. You know, and it's just funny. Dog. You know, that's named after the guy who really just stole it in 17 whatever. And so it's been sitting, you know, for hundreds of years. They all played with it. Even Darwin's father even commented on it. You know, some real famous scientist types, like I said. So it was kind of a mixed bag of reviews, but publication was rare. And that was, I guess that's why Lesage gets credited, is because he almost managed to get published. I mean, he didn't get published directly, he got published indirectly by somebody else who published Lesage. But anyway, just kind of funny. But it's just this whole, I mean, science really is it's been a closed business for a long time. You know, they really don't like challenges, you know, to the ivory tower physics. You know, and because, you know, this history just demonstrates that here they had the truth almost. I mean, you know, they had the kernel of it. Yeah, it didn't work because they had particles that were changing speed and particles that got bigger and smaller. And, you know, you can't make that work. So you're stuck with you know, they just didn't like it. You know, they didn't fight for it. I guess that's the right word to use. And I guess I'll give Lesage credit for that much, is that he saw it, you know, totally got that, oh, this has got to be the answer, and tried to make it work. So anyway, it was just interesting. And they do cite Feynman as being a debunker, but on the Wikipedia page, all they did was cite that stupid lecture he gave in whatever, where, you know, it's a cartoon debunking. You know, that shouldn't be, I mean, they shouldn't cite that. I mean, I guess he wrote it in his book also, but frankly, if that's all he said in his book about it, you know, problem is it doesn't work. Yeah, problem is you don't even try to think. So, anyway, really irritating. So, there are some other people messing with it, but they're messing in the wrong directions, trying to waverize it. That's just that's just plain dumb. A plain mistake. And you know, I saw one sort of half unification-y thing, but again, that was tying electromagnetism, and instead of you know, making electromagnetic Lesagian, they were making gravity electromagnetic, which, yeah, that ain't gonna work either. So, you know, no wins. She picked up her dog. And what does she do? She picks it up and throws it in the woods. That's really not going to make a difference to the environment. Yeah, it's still poo-poo in the environment. It still goes into the stream right over there. Yeah. But whatever. Out of sight, out of mind. Inconvenient truther. Jogging with her dog. Yes. all the green people. Anyway. It's just, this is why humans will always fail. It's the principles. I can't get the principles. So, I guess that's about it. I won't ramble on too much. I already did too much because people hate this subject, but I gotta make something happen. Because it's all brilliant and such. Yeah, that's it. Everything else is same old, same old. My back is still suck if I'm not running. So I can barely manage the walking. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Until next time. And such.
Forget-me-nots and such. Yeah, la 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 la.
Some flowers about, but not too many yet. Anyway, still misering with my back here. Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to stand more upright. There's old Mellow, yellow cat. He's still pretty spooky. And he's a mess still. Fucking mess. Yeah, those Angora cats shouldn't really be left to the feralness. Too much fur. Gets them in too much trouble. So anyway. Yeah, so I could react to the distress of a cat by, just doing something stupid. Just negate it. To make it go away. Laugh at it, make jokes. Yeah, I can laugh at stuff. I did the other day, made a little dead fish talk and made a joke. So yeah, we can evade it. That's what Anaconda Vod's theory of existence is. And he says it as if this is some big surprise that human beings can evade accountability and responsibility and any negative sense of dread by deluding themselves. Yeah, by going to Walmart and watching a movie. I mean, it's just so funny. He mocks the very thing that's an expression of his theory of, evade, the logical, consequential reaction, the one that's consistent with your construction, in the sense that your construction tends to identify things happening as bad by your personal experience and good by your personal experience. But that one does get a little tricky because it's also our nature to be rather selfish, so we tend to enjoy the Schnuggenhauer, or whatever the fuck it is, a German word for, having fun at somebody else's expense when it's the right person you're expensing. Getting what you deserve, kind of thing, even if you don't deserve it. Yeah. So yeah, there's not some sort of rule that says you have to feel a certain way to understand something, so understanding isn't necessarily onerous. But he always uses examples that are just such bad examples. He read some passage out of a book from some guy who was depressed, and certainly when you're depressed you have those moments where something just creeps you out. So he was creeped out by some geese and flying and honking or whatever, and it just went through him, and stunned him. I've had that with crows before. In some of my lower days, crows have gotten to me. Yeah, I don't know what power you have when you're in the depression. It's pretty hard to just say, oh, well, I'll just pretend that didn't depress me, or I'm not vulnerable. So, I mean, this is a game you usually can't play when you're at your weakest anyway. So it might be a good preventative. What was the point? Oh yeah, so it's just a trivial thing, you know. There's usually something else that's the root of your depression, and you know, these other things just end up being symbolic representations of the fact that you're depressed and the fact that you're reacting to them that way. So I don't know if I would put them in the same category. And obviously people are, you know, depressed for, you know, usually it's some sort of personal life thing, you know, some sort of, you know, you just can't see a path for yourself through all the clutter and crud that's going to be at all clean enough to live in, live with. Yeah, and but anyway, this whole subject of depression seems so not the subject. So it's just that's a psychological subject. The subject of what's the nature of our existence is a different subject. The nature of our existence is a pile of shit, and I don't care if you're happy that it is. I don't care if you enjoy thinking about the fact that life is shit. The point is acknowledging. Nice, that's a yellow-tailed hawk. Pretty rare thing to see flopping about in this woods. I believe that's what it was. I mean, it had a big yellow stripe on its tail. It's going my way. So anyway, what's that? Very quiet wings. No flapping and such. Fluttery, fluttery. Like them quails and things. Very quiet. So yeah, the subject really isn't how to be happy or how to make it. I mean, how to keep yourself strong when you're in the war even. And that's it'd be nice somebody wrote a book, how to keep yourself mentally strong when you're losing the war. You know, in the trenches or something. Okay, why? What the hell? Why not? No point in failing for nothing. You know, give it your best shot. Yeah, nice title for a book. Give it your best shot. You know, for a war survival thing. But I'm just saying, yeah, okay, fine. What does that have to do with the truth? You know, the subjects that he's arguing against have nothing to do with this mush. And he keeps dragging them into this mush. And with the pretense that, well, see, you're saying that philosophically life is a stupid, sloppy biological experiment conducted by a no-brained, he's that psychotic, no-brained scientist. And you know, he's going to argue, well, no, you just twisted all the facts around and it's all fun because I do that for therapy. So he's using his therapy as evidence of how life is worth living because you can delude yourself into believing it is. Well, yeah, you can delude yourself into believing it is, but that doesn't mean you've changed what it is. That's a delusion. Wow. And you can just likewise delude yourself into recognizing it's not functional and it has no purpose, and then you won't need to have kids. You don't want to go anywhere near that. And you'll accomplish your safety duty. So you'll protect reality from your delusion. So if you're going to have a delusion, just have one that makes you not make a mess into the future. There you go. Simple solution. I prefer that people just have a rational, logical conversation about the reality or addictive psychology. The fact that, you know, as that stupid Carla Del Stella's claiming we don't feel for any reason. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with compelling us to behave. It's just so funny. I mean, they're just so desperate to escape reality. I mean, that's why it exists. It exists because our brain Again, I've said it 5 million times. Of course, she never quotes the part where I say things like that. But our brain's doing two things. First, it's creating feelings, which is a way of making problems matter. And then it's giving us enough logical capacity to scheme solutions to our feeling problem. And that's what the salmon are doing when they go upstream. It smells like good stuff up there, so they head up there and they strategize to get up there because they can taste how good it is. And they just don't realize it ain't gonna be so good. Yeah, because they don't have any information. So anyway, and that's our origins, was the lack of information. But our intuitive senses, we can see what's upstream for us, and we can understand that sex is good. Just don't, wear a condom, and then sex is good. So then you don't have a bunch of babies in the way of your sex. So it's not too complicated. Yeah, so and all the other desires, we can tell sometimes our senses will fool us into thinking junk food is real food, but intellectually we can know better. So we can moderate ourselves out of the trouble our raw senses might get us into. Our enthusiasm can be tempered by understanding that, ooh, wait a minute, I don't think me riding on the roof of the car is a good idea. Yeah, let's give that a thought number 2. Yeah, should have found the flaw in thought number 1, but let's give it thought number 2. So that might not be a good idea. This is all doable, and that's how the brain works. We feel because that's the mechanism nature fell upon to push organisms through the mush. And the fact of the matter is, if you don't lie, you can't make pushing make any sense. So you have to make lies about what's out there. That's all Anaconda does. He just lies about thinking, I'm winning Boy Scout badges. I'm a man. Yeah, I'm a manly man because I'm bold and reckless. So, he just converts the desire mechanism into an ego mechanism, which is the same difference. It's just one of the mechanisms, and just establishes the goal as meritorious instead of seeing it with his intellect to be superficial and selfish and of no realistic productive potential. Yeah. That's probably enough on that. So, a little bit of honeysuckles there. Could have stopped, but this back thing is just such a slowing me down. Yeah. I mean, I'm still functional, but it just takes me twice as long to do anything. I don't know if there's much else. Lots of stuff going on in Gary Brain. Yeah. Still working on physics stuff. I think I'll make a physics video tonight just because I got another angle on the spin relationship. Very interesting. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if there's anything else I need to add. I mean, I guess I should have kept this video consistent, but who cares? I'm not going to complain about some more Google crap. I am working on this open source thing, and this browser video conferencing capacity and all that kind of shit. But it all seems to be tied through Google's APIs and all this shit. So you pretty much have to write your own. I really don't like the idea of open source software run by Google. It just has a real stink about it. I kind of wish Android would get separated from Google. I mean, it's just irritating to have these corporate fingers touching anything. They're all so fucking evil. I still can't believe Intel bought McAfee. It's such an evil company. And for a ton of money, which you're just like, how could you pay real money for a lying criminal software? I don't know. Somebody just paid $4 billion for AOL, right? That ain't worth 10 cents. Why? Oh, because they own some dopey company that serves ads. You know, just terrible how we're getting reamed by this advertising model. Just a horrid waste of money. Paying people to manufacture noise to persuade us to buy. Just horrible. You know, it's like a huge tax. The 50% tax on everything you buy. Advertising. It's so unproductive. I mean, the internet was supposed to fix all that. Nice straight lines between production and consumption. But instead we got more middlemen than ever. Just a tragically poor utilization of functionality. Thank you, human race, for doing it wrong again. Anyway. Very disappointing. People are dumb. So anyway, till next time. And such. So forth. And the whatnot. Yeah, I probably should just finish. Voyage across the lawn. See the magnificent pool. Yes. It's really quite fantastically beautiful. Dogwood tree. Not doing badly. The other one in the front died. I didn't kill it. Beautiful, beautiful. Still kind of cold though. Keep my swims awful short. Anyway, until next time.